Hey, Dave here. Thanks for joining us again for part 3 of our holiday thriving guide. Because really, who just wants to survive? We want to thrive in this season of life, even if it's a COVID season. We don't get to choose that, but we do get to choose if we're going to thrive or survive. And so we're choosing to thrive in this season. So I'm going to invite you to do a little experiment with me. Take a little trip, a little journey, as it were. Imagine it is now March of 2021. The sunlight's getting longer, the weather is warming up, especially here in Colorado. We're trusting that's going to be the case. And we begin to reflect back on how the holiday season went, right? How we navigated it, how we experienced it, what was going on inside of us, our thoughts and our feelings and our overall well-being. And we begin to reflect on conversations we had and experiences we had. And we wonder, who I am today, how did that help me get here? Was it the kind of path or journey I wanted to take? Because today is the day. Now is the time that we can chart the course. We can set the path to get where we actually want to be, say in March of 2021, in the next 4 or 5 months from now. So that's what I'm inviting you to do. So we've already talked in the first 2 versions of this thriving guide, 2 specific actions. One is to create friendships or partnerships for creating a conspiracy of kindness, for living for the benefit, to be encouragers and those who inspire the people that you live with in your community. And we know that will have great benefit for us. The second thing is we talked about what we consume, whether it's the news or conversations with certain kinds of people or the things we listen to or watch. And does it inspire us? Does it give us that sense of well-being that is positive and optimistic and is very proactive? Today I want to invite you to get up and move. It is really that simple. There's lots of great benefits for you and me in a lot of different ways of exercise, of moving. Now, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'm done with this video. That's fine. But I'm going to invite you to just hang on just a couple minutes longer. Here are some of the benefits, and there are many, but here are some of the benefits of exercise, of moving about. Here's the one I love most, is that it releases what I call the happy hormones. So you do some exercise, I do some exercise, and all of a sudden now we got things like dopamine and our epinephrine and norepinephrine are released in our body. Our serotonin levels go up. And all those happy hormones and a number of other great hormonal impacts happen because we chose to go to an exercise group, or we chose to take some steps around our community. Then not only is there the hormones that are going on, and here's a great thing, is that we actually have this thing, we experience this thing called neuroplasticity. Our brains, up until our 9th decade of living, well into our 90s, we can continue to grow our brains, and we can continue to exercise our brains to get stronger with our memory center and our learning center. That's a great benefit for all of us, regardless of our age. And then there's things like this that help a lot. Range of motion. If you're doing certain kinds of exercise that are going to help move your joints and as big a range of motion as you can, because we have to fight for that the older we get. And then not only is there this range of motion, but the exercises that we do at the end is we do a lot of core strengthening, both standing and sitting, because here's what happens with core training and core strength is it increases our balance. And with our greater balance, we have greater confidence as we move about. So there's a lot of things that happen, and many more, of course, but there's a lot of great things that happen through exercise. And so I want to invite you to consider, how do you do that? How do you get that in your daily rhythm of how you're doing life, exercise, moving about? At the end, one of the things that we do now with this current level of shutdown, we do our Zoom exercises on Zoom. And we used to do it live. Obviously, we're not doing that right now. But we get online and there's a whole group of us there. And here's what happens when we do exercise with other people, it's Zoom or in a live group, is that there's great encouragement that goes on. There's a sense of camaraderie, even on Zoom, as we can hear and see each other. And there's all this side talk before and after exercise. And then there's that sense of shared accomplishment. And so we have this community sense, we have this friendship sense, we've accomplished something together, we laugh, we just enjoy that time together. And so now we're with others, which actually pushes us back to the first video. And so that's super important for us as we continue to grow and have this kind of experience to thrive during this crazy season of COVID. With all this chaos and uncertainty, how do we now get established and settled in our inner life? Yes, it's through our relationships. Yes, it's through the intake of what we're listening to and watching, but it's also in the movements of our bodies. That's super important for you and for me. And so I encourage you to make that part of your rhythm, whatever that looks like for you, because we all have different abilities. And one of the things I tell my residents all the time, as a certified trainer, I get to now bring that experience in, and having worked with people for over a decade in a lot of different health conditions, I say, here's the common refrain is, don't be so concerned what you can't do. Be focused on what you can do. And that's real important, because yes, we can look at someone else in the room or on Zoom and go, well, they're doing more than I am, or I just can't do that. Well, do what you can. And then watch what happens as you continue to do what you can. So Sir Isaac Newton, he, many years ago, of course, he came up with these laws of motion. And the summary is simply this, of his laws of motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And I put it this way, I translate it in this context this way: an object in motion tends to be a healthier and happier object. So as you and I, we continue to stay in motion, we continue to move as much as we are able, as we just kind of push ourselves gently and appropriately, we're going to be healthier and happier. We're going to have all those great positive things that happen in us, both with our hormones and our strength and range of motion, and in our friendships and contact with other people. And as a result, we're going to be able to overcome the things we don't want, but ultimately experience the things that we do want. Well-being and vibrancy, a sense of a proactive approach to life. And then here's what we're going to find in March of 2021 is that we didn't survive the holidays. We had this thriving in them and through them. So I'm glad that you have watched these last couple of videos, and I trust that as you take these things and you act on them, you too in March of 2021 will look back and reflect and go, I didn't just survive, I had a great thriving during these holidays. Make it a great day.